Aloha and welcome to the City and County of Honolulu. My name is Kapono, and I will be your ethics tour guide as we travel around the beautiful island of Oahu. On today's tour, we will be using our ethics compass to guide us through the roads of our city responsibilities. As we map out our journey, we will explore key landmarks and laws such as fair and equal treatment, conflicts of interest, reporting, leaving city services, penalties, and requests for advice. All right, let's not waste any more time and hele on. First, let me introduce you to the Ethics Commission. We are an independent agency that advises, educates, and enforces the city ethics laws. These ethic laws are also known as the Standard of Conduct. The Ethics Commission's mission is to ensure that all employees, elected officials, and appointed officers demonstrate the highest standards of ethical conduct so that the public may have trust and confidence in the integrity of government.
I didn't know there was an ethics commission. I've never dealt with anything like this before.
You're not the only one. Now that you're a government employee, you are now subject to the ethics laws because you work for the taxpayers of the city and county of Honolulu. You must do your work for the benefit of the community.
That makes sense. I'm excited to start my city job. I've always wanted to give back to my community.
Mai ka'ino, city employees like you provide much needed goods and services to our local community. You help to ensure that our community has safe drinking water, housing, garbage pickup, bus transportation, and parks to enjoy. It's important that the community knows that we do our best we can every day to provide those goods and services fairly to everyone. Let's kickstart our journey by learning about the Fair and Equal Treatment Law. This law guides us on how to be ethical when using city resources. The law also prevents us from using our city position to give favors and special treatment to ourselves or anyone else which is not available to everyone. City resources include city computers, cars, trucks, maintenance tools, and printers. Even your city title and time spent working your city job are considered city resources. Oh, yes. And you in the back, do you have any questions?
So I just started watching this new show on Netflix. In the city department I work at, they have such fast Wi-Fi. Can I just watch one episode?
No, sorry. That would be a misuse of your city resource. You just gotta wait till you get home to watch. Now that we understand the fair and equal treatment law, let's explore conflicts of interest, which are caused by various circumstances. Conflicts of interest can happen when a personal interest, like an outside job or personal relationship, may affect your decisions or actions at your city job. These conflicts can arise from financial interests, business activities, or close personal relationships. Understanding what is considered a conflict of interest can feel like a never ending ocean of conflicts. But don't worry, take a deep breath and let's dive in. Having an outside job is allowed as long as it doesn't create conflict of interest with your city job and you don't use city resources for your outside job. If you do have an outside job, fill out the Disclosure of Interest form, Form CC 8, which can be found on our website and submitted to your Administrative Services Officer. This form must be completed when you start your city job, transfer to another agency, receive a promotion, or obtain a new outside job. You cannot do business with or have financial interests that conflict with your city duties. Also, you should not conduct any business activities or have financial interests that appear to affect your judgment in carrying out your city duties. Confidential information is any information from your city job that isn't available to the public. You cannot disclose this kind of information, whether it's for yourself or anyone else's benefit. Gifts are anything that you didn't pay for in full, including meals, flights, show tickets, and services. You cannot accept a gift if it appears that it is intended to influence or reward you for doing your city job. Just say no and let them go. You shouldn't make any decisions that could affect a family member or friend.
Excuse me, I have a question. So, I work for the Department of Parks and Recreation. I was just about to approve a camping permit when I realized that the applicant and I were classmates at McKinley. I think we even went to prom together. Can I still work on this camping permit?
If you two do not hang out together, and this is your first time in years since you've spoken, then it's most likely fine. Remember, though, even if you personally think that it wouldn't affect your judgment, you have to think about what someone else would think if they knew your circumstances.
Thanks for clearing that up. Now, what if I witness a possible conflict of interest? What now?
If you ever think that you might have a potential conflict of interest, notify your supervisor. Then submit a disclosure of conflict of interest form to your supervisor. The form is located on the Ethics Commission website. It's important to completely remove yourself from any conflict of interest. If you are not sure whether or not you have a conflict of interest, consult your supervisor or reach out to the Ethics Commission for guidance. Now I know you all just got here, but if you decide to leave your city job, there are some rules you must follow. You'll first need to enter into a 1-year cooling off period. What this means is that for 1 year after leaving your city job, you cannot work for a private employer on any matter that you actively worked on and knew confidential information about in your city job. Additionally, you cannot accept any money from a private company to assist with a project or application you worked on while you were at your city job. You also cannot go before a city agency representing a private company on matters that you worked on at your city job. There are a few exceptions to these rules. For example, if you work on behalf of the city, like a city consultant, you may work on matters you previously handled for the city. You're also allowed to work on matters if you didn't have the power to make any official decisions about the matter. Finally, you may be able to work on a matter if you sign a sworn statement that you had no access to confidential information or were not involved in a confidential matter.
That sounds complicated. How am I going to remember all of that?
Good question. That brings us to our next destination. Remember, the Ethics Commission is always here for you. Our attorney of the day is available to answer your questions. This service for city officers and employees is completely free. Rest assured that any information you share remains confidential. Feel free to reach out to us via phone or email using the contact information shown on your screen. It's better to ask if you're not sure. The Commission would much rather prevent unethical conduct than investigate ethical violations. Whether you are a city officer or employee, the Ethics Commission may recommend disciplinary action if you are caught violating the ethics laws. In certain cases, the Commission may impose civil fines or publish an advisory opinion about your misconduct. Remember, the Commission is here to help you steer clear of that troubled terrain. If you see something, say something. The city has an integrity hotline for city officers and employees where you can make a report. It is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is confidential, so you don't have to worry about saying who you are or where you work. The contact information is on your screen. With that, our ethical journey around the island is pau. We hope you enjoyed exploring Oahu from the comforts of your screen. If you have any questions, please contact the Honolulu Ethics Commission. Remember, it's our shared kuleana to uphold the public trust. Mahalo and ahui ho.